Action Force. Action Force is the code name for a highly trained, rapid deployment specialist mission force. They are selected from the cream of the world's fighting forces. Action Brief. To defend human freedom against Cobra, a ruthless organization determined to rule the world. Action Mission. To recover an innocent captured scientist and discover why Cobra is suddenly interested in dinosaurs.
It's Action Force against Cobra, the enemy, fighting to save the day. They will never give up. They're always there. They will always dare. Action Force.
Return of the Dinosaurs. Who knows where the Cobra bandits will strike next, or what twisted scheme they are working on to dominate the world. Certainly the scientists, unearthing 70-million-year-old dinosaur bones far out in the desert, weren't even thinking about them. But suddenly, the silence of the desert was shattered. A lone Cobra fighter dived on their worksite. Wild Weasel shrieked with pleasure as his lasers blasted the site on his first firepass. No one was hurt, but everyone dashed for cover. Wild Weasel's jet screamed to a halt by the burning site. He climbed out and searched through the dinosaur bones.
He must be a collector. They're desperate men,
said the chief scientist, watching from the safety of a nearby boulder.
But it's strange. A true collector would have taken the Deinonychus feet. He'd just grabbed the nearest skull.
Wild Weasel climbed back into his plane, carrying the skull. The engines roared to life, blasting dust across the desert.
Plan A is complete,
he reported back to Cobra's secret base. Meanwhile, at the International Science Academy, an audience of top boffins was listening to Dr. Archibald Massey.
I have cloned this egg from a single cell of the garter snake,
he said. As the egg hatched, the bandit twins, Xanot and Tomax, gave the order from far away at Cobra HQ for Plan B to proceed. Suddenly, an attendant ripped off his disguise to reveal his Cobra uniform.
Hold it right there, Dr. Massey,
he said, grabbing the doctor. Then the huge window behind them exploded in on the lecture theater. A Cobra helicopter was hovering outside. From its open door, a figure aimed a huge, strange-looking weapon into the hall. Stunned by the chaos and noise, the audience stood paralyzed by fear. Then, the Cobra weapon fired loudly. Not a bullet or a shell, but a huge Cobra capture net. It ballooned into the lecture theater and scooped up Dr. Massey. Before the horrified gaze of 1,000 scientists, the doctor was whisked away to the waiting helicopter. At Action Force Command headquarters, Scarlet wanted to know,
why is Cobra stealing dinosaur bones and old scientists?
Action Force Warrant Officer Flint explained.
1. Intelligence believes Cobra plans to clone dinosaurs on a base in the South Pacific. 2. Dr. Massey has developed a rapid growth catalyst. 1 + 2 equals a way of growing full-size dinosaurs in 24 hours.
Just then, Deep 6 radioed in from patrol in the South Pacific.
Hey, this is weird. I found an island that's not on the map.
That's not so odd, Deep 6. We're on our way,
said Flint. Within seconds, the Action Force Sky Strikers were winding up to full strength as Action Force prepared for takeoff. But the key to opening an attack is surprise, and the Strikers had now lost that key because they were seen approaching the island. As the Action Force planes skimmed over the jungle, the undergrowth parted to reveal some very unpleasant machinery. Miniature radar dishes tracked the approaching Action Force aircraft, feeding information through to a computer. Heat-seeking Cobra rockets automatically locked onto the 3 Sky Strikers as first Flint, then Scarlet, then Gung Ho flew in low. Suddenly, the rockets screeched straight to their targets. Scarlet and Gung Ho calmly flicked their ejector buttons and shot into the sky, dropping to safety beneath parachutes. But Flint was not so lucky.
My controls are jammed,
he shouted, struggling to straighten the plane.
Bail out!
Screamed Scarlet. But even as she and Gung Ho watched, the stricken Sky Striker went into a steep dive. and straight into an evil-looking swamp. Not far away, Cobra Commander was giving orders to his captive, Dr. Massey, who was terrified.
Each bone fragment has enough cells to clone eggs for an infinite number of living dinosaurs.
He hissed.
I need all those dinosaurs. Therefore, I suggest you begin now.
As Cobra Commander stood over him threateningly, Dr. Massey worked quickly to produce the first dinosaur eggs seen on the Earth for 70 million years. Within 24 hours, the huge and terrifying monsters would be roaming the Earth again. Cobra Commander looked almost affectionate as he held in his hands the first tiny dinosaur that hatched.
You are going to grow to rule the Earth once more, my little one.
He crooned.
Inject the growth hormone. I want these little beauties to grow.
Meanwhile, Destro worked on the cybernetic mind control discs which were to control the fully grown dinosaurs. He and Cobra Commander knew exactly how to turn the dinosaurs into their slaves. As the dinosaurs were bursting out of their shells, Flint was plowing into the swamp. Scarlet and Gung Ho saw the smoking wreck of Flint's Sky Striker disappear from view.
I thought he was gonna make it,
said Gung Ho as they turned sadly away. Then the swamp stirred at their feet, and out crawled Flint.
I blasted the cockpit canopy with my hand laser and bailed out just in time,
he said casually.
Am I glad to see you?
Said Scarlet with relief.
This operation was tricky enough without cutting down the oddsbra.
I'm sure you would have coped. Gung-Ho has enough fight to even things up.
I sure got an appetite.
No. Flint turned away and began hacking into the jungle.
Flint, do you know where we're going?
Asked Scarlet after 2 hours of hard work and listening to Gung-Ho's rumbling stomach.
Looks like we've got to where we're going,
replied Flint. His machete cut through one more clump of undergrowth. There was the Cobra Force. As Cobra's cameras tracked Action Force through the jungle, Cobra Commander gloated over his new, rapidly growing dinosaurs.
Once I have brain-beamed my little pets, they will respond to my every order!
He screamed, wild with delight.
Not without the cybernetic control disc I have here,
sneered Destro.
We will try. Release the dinosaurs. They will deal with Action Force.
Beneath the fortress, a huge steel door raised and released the creatures.
Stop! You must feed them first!
Cried Dr. Massey.
Without food, they will perish!
Feeding them is what I had in mind,
said Cobra Commander.
Destro, let me try the mind control disc. Dinosaurs, find the Action Force team,
he ordered. Out stampeded the terrifying herd. Gung Ho stood his ground, but his laser lancers bounced off the dinosaurs' tough skins. Cobra Commander and Destro happily watched on their screens as the prehistoric herd chased Action Force. But Action Force were not so happy.
Somebody's watching us!
Yelled Scarlet, pointing at a camera.
I'll soon fix that,
said Gung Ho, swinging his aim from a dinosaur to the camera. It exploded with Gung Ho's first shot, but by then the dinosaurs were almost upon them. Now that Destro couldn't see the action on his video monitor, he couldn't give commands, and the dinosaurs lurched about out of control. Destro ordered his Crimson Guards to reinforce the dinosaur attack. The dinosaurs used their own brains now. They forced Action Force back into a cave and sent in the smallest of the herd to ferret them out. Flint, Scarlet, and Gung Ho backed off as one of the dinosaurs leapt at them. It rolled Flint over like a toy and sank its razor teeth deep into the soft back of his uniform kit bag.
It's looking for something to eat,
shouted Scarlet. The pack rations kept the beast busy long enough for Flint to wriggle free. Scarlet pulled the rations out of her own kit bag and fired them on her crossbow to behind the line of leering Crimson Guards outside the cave. Instantly, the dinosaurs chased after the food, trampling the Crimson Guards' vehicles. Action Force charged out of the cave after them, Flint pausing only to grab some dynamite which was strewn among the wreckage. Action Force now had a clear run back to the foot of the fortress. Scarlet and Gung Ho scaled the sheer rock and used a small explosive charge to break into the Cobra control room. Before they did anything else, they had to capture the cybernetic control disk which controlled the dinosaurs. Meanwhile, Flint set about dynamiting the base of the fortress, then followed the others. The fight was tough. Gung Ho and Scarlet were outnumbered, and they had little chance against Cobra Commander and his crew. Just as they were overpowered, Flint's dynamite rocked the fortress and opened up a way into the base. In the chaos, Scarlet managed to grab the cybernetic control disk.
Dinosaurs, attack the fortress,
she ordered. Crazy with hunger, the dinosaurs returned the moment Scarlet spoke, smashing walls and doors as they came in. As the fortress crumbled about them, Destro, Tomax, and Zamont realized that their plans were wrecked. Using Destro's personal propulsion arm rockets, they shot to freedom through a shattered window. The fighting in the control room stopped when an enraged dinosaur burst in. Everyone was on the dinosaur's menu. It wasn't fussy.
It's time we got out of here,
said Flint.
For once, I think you're right,
agreed Cobra Commander. Cobra Commander led the dive for freedom and the avalanche of bodies, including Dr. Massey, down the rock face. When Flint recovered at the foot of the hill, he looked round.
Where's Cobra Commander?
He asked.
He must have slid into a hole,
said Gung Ho.
And it's time I slid it off and found some food.
Well,
said Scarlet, looking at the herd of dinosaurs now contentedly munching through the wreckage of the supply dump.
You may have to share some with your friends.
Move over, boys. I'm famished,
joked Gung Ho.
Cut out the wisecracks,
snapped Flint.
I've a feeling it won't be long until Destro, Tomax, Zamot, and Cobra Commander slither out from under their hiding place. The dinosaurs are staying, but we're leaving. Come on, Dr. Massey.
And with that, they went.